You. Are you someone who's always aiming higher? You're always pushing, always trying to level up, and maybe you hit that really big goal, getting a 4.0, graduating, starting the business, getting the job. When you finally get this thing, it feels good for a split second, and then you're back to being like, okay, what should I do next? What's the next goal? You start feeling like, oh my God, you're not doing enough. Overachievers, you little overachiever. It's okay, a lot of us fall into that category. But what if the thing that is driving you to succeed is also the thing quietly destroying your peace? Today, we're breaking down the psychology of overachievers and why constantly moving that finish line is both your superpower and your biggest downfall. So when we talk about overachieving, we usually celebrate it. It is going beyond what's required, outworking everyone else. But underneath all that productivity and discipline, there's usually a deeper story. Because overachieving often comes at a cost. Your joy, balance, and your ability to be present. So I have definitely been an overachiever my entire life. Like, everything was a competition for me. Everything. I wanted to just outshine everyone. I wanted to get super ahead in life, right? Like, I just always got really good grades. I always did the sports. I always did a thing. I was always working. And it led to just me achieving these things, but also being a little bit miserable. Like, I would look at people who could, have fun when they were going out and not feel guilty because they weren't working, or people who just lived their day to day and just truly enjoyed life, being super present. Like, I was a workaholic, I think. Like, I stopped hanging out with people. I stopped talking to my parents. I limited contact with the outside world because I was like, oh, well, I could just be on my walking pad and, be working. And it wasn't fun. I had to really dissect what was going on because I knew that I didn't want to live a life of like loneliness. Like, how they portray workaholics in movies, how they're like 40, 45, 50 and they're like all alone because they're so obsessed with work. They destroyed their relationship with their parents. They destroyed every relationship they have. I just didn't want to end up like that. And that's definitely the road that I was leaning towards. And so what I realized is that the root of my overachieving wasn't actually ambition. That wasn't the driving factor. It was fear. Fear of failure, fear of disappointing people, fear of rejection, or fear of not being enough. I think my self-worth got tied to achievements from a very young age. Good grades and good mannerisms and getting awards like meant praise from my parents and from my family members and from my peers, and I got trophies, and I equated my worth or how important I was to how many things I excelled at. And when you grow up with this belief and you never challenge it, you learn to associate achievement with your self-worth. It becomes your identity. And then, eventually I stopped getting really praised for these things because, adulthood, people don't give a fuck about you when you're an adult. For me, at least, my parents, I don't know, like, they don't really like praise me as much, which is fine. I don't need it. But then I think I just got addicted to like the dopamine that would come when I would achieve something. If I finished everything on my checklist, I would feel so good. But like, my checklist was long. My daily checklist was very, very long. It would take me the whole day. And so I just isolated myself from the world because I was like, no, I need to do all of this. And I just kept chasing that feeling of achieving again and again. And not because it made me feel fulfilled, but because it was just like a habit. And so then here's where it got tricky. I never felt done. I never felt proud of myself. I never felt accomplished. Even though I was overachieving and I was excelling, like, I just never felt good enough. The second I hit a goal, the second I hit a milestone, it was like, oh, but next thing, oh, but I haven't done this. Oh, what's this? Like, I graduated college. I'm a first gen student, okay? Nobody, like, in my parents didn't go to college. My dad's side of the family, like, I was the first one to graduate college, and I graduated, got my degree, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even walk. I was like, oh, it's just a 4-year degree. I'll walk when I get my master's. I was truly just moving the finish line before I could even catch my breath. And yes, there were very cool things associated with this, right? Like, it keeps you evolving. It teaches you to be very disciplined. It builds resilience. Even it like teaches you to do hard things, because to overachieve, like, you have to do these hard things, right? But the dark side was burnout, because we are not machines. We need rest. We need it. And if we don't give it to ourselves, like, our body will force it onto us. I fell into like this deep depressive episode. Like, I thought I had it bad in high school. It came back tenfold. I tried to myself. I got super manic, and I was like this close to deleting my YouTube, deleting my page for like my marketing agency, scratching everything, ghosting everyone. Could you imagine? Like, I know I don't have a lot of subscribers. I know I don't have like a lot of viewers. At this point, like, my marketing agency, I was just starting out. But it's just like, it takes a lot of work. Like, I've been at this channel, for example, for 2 years. Those 2 years would have been wiped. I would have ended my journey on my marketing agency. All of the work that I had done, wiped. Because I was just so burnt out. I was so miserable. I had to take a step back, or 10 steps back. I had to slow down, because my mental health was just in shambles. Burnout is so real, and if you push yourself hard enough, it will creep up on you. And all of the hard work that you've done, all of the sacrifices you've made to get to where you are, gone for nothing. I had a trainer. I was working with a personal trainer because, like, I wanted to, like, see my results. I'd been working out for a while. I wanted to see my results. And I mean, this man definitely accomplished a lot. So he was a personal trainer at Gold's Gym, and then he kind of started his own like coaching business outside of like Gold's Gym. He was working at this super cool gym, working with like high profile people. And then he decided to start coaching personal trainers. So offering coaching for personal trainers. We would be talking. He was like, yeah, I drink so many energy drinks, so much caffeine. I wake up at 4 a.m. I go to sleep at midnight, 4 hours of sleep, because I need to make it. He made it straight to the hospital after years of doing this. And he would always say, like, it's just for a little bit. It's just for a little bit until like I make it, and then I'll be able to like slow down a little bit. But because he was in that mindset of like always overachieving, always being on, he never felt like, oh, I'm in a position now where I can slow down. I can get my full 8 hours of sleep. I can cut back on the caffeine. Not after he left Gold's Gym, not after he was pretty successful at his coaching business, not after he started working with other coaches. No, he just never gave himself that break. It was always chugging energy drinks, was sleeping very, very little, and he put himself in the hospital. His body forced him to slow down. Could you imagine how stale of a life you'll be living if you're just always in this constant state of, I need to be doing more. No, I can't enjoy. No, I can't go out and I can't go out and hang out with my friends. No, I can't celebrate this because I need to be doing more. I am not there yet. I need to be working. It's miserable. I was so miserable this past year, honestly, maybe even longer. You have to find that balance. What is the point in working so much if like that's all you do? Just work. I cut friends off. I literally, like, every relationship I had was non-existent. I never allowed myself to relax. Like, even just like good things that I enjoyed. I used to love baking. I used to love watching movies and reading new books. I stopped letting myself do anything because I'm like, if I'm not like, I could be working. I was stopped running because I'm like, I could be on my walking pad working. I stopped going on road trips and traveling because I'm like, I need to build my business. I will say that workaholics don't happen overnight. Find that balance, because next thing you know, you're gonna end up being a fucking workaholic. These things like slowly creep up on you. Like, I didn't even notice the pattern until I was deep in it, right? I was in my depressive episode, how to go back to therapy, and I was talking to my therapist and she was like, you're doing a lot. And I was like, no, I don't think so. No, like, you're doing a lot. I was doing a lot. I was a workaholic. And if you're somebody who's just like always accomplishing something and then you're immediately thinking, okay, what's next? If you're somebody who only feels valuable when you're being productive, if you feel guilty when you're resting, whether it's going on vacations, hanging out with friends, like doing your hobbies or whatever, or if you're just constantly comparing yourself to others and highlighting the areas where you fall short on, like, you could be a workaholic too, or you could be on that road to becoming a workaholic. And so obviously, like, the goal is not to stop being ambitious. I still work a lot. I still have goals to meet. I still want to accomplish big things. The goal is simply to stop letting your ambition control you. Your worth is not measured by output, and repeat this to yourself until you can fully believe it. Set goals that also include joy and rest and connection. And when you hit a milestone, make sure to celebrate those big wins, those small wins. Allow yourself to enjoy that moment. Like, it's a big deal. And make sure that your routines protect your well-being. Yes, of course, we want our routines and our daily habits to be aligned with our goals, but we also want them to allow us to take care of ourselves. Make sure your routine involves you sleeping for 7 to 8 hours a day. Make sure your routine allows you to enjoy good and healthy meals. Make sure your routine allows you to, like, read a book or do something like a hobby that you enjoy that's just not, like, being productive. And I think this last tip is just probably the thing that has been the most helpful for me, which is to shift your focus from what's next, what could I be doing now, to why am I doing this in the first place? Because I found myself like saying yes a lot just to like be busy and to like, oh, say that I could do this, say that I did this. Or I found myself doing these like little things that were like being productive and optimizing your routine, being optimal or whatever, but then it truly like didn't really align with me. So make sure that like everything that you're doing has a purpose. You don't want it to just be something that you're doing just to stroke your ego. And so I'll leave you with this. Overachieving is not the enemy. The problem is losing yourself in the chase for more. So learn when to push and when to pause. Find that balance. And yeah, that's all that I had for you guys today. I hope this video reminded you to just like take care of yourself. I definitely wish I would have gotten this reminder when I was like at my peak workaholic era. It's so important to rest. It's so important to check in with yourself and make sure that you're good, because I promise you, like, burnout is real. All these health risks and conditions are very much real. We want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. If you're super ambitious like me, I know, of course, we want big things, but we can still get those big things while also taking care of ourselves. So let me know in the comments if this video helped you just rethink how much work you're putting out, if it inspired you to rest. Please like this video if it did. Subscribe to my channel because it would help me out tremendously. And please, 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 if you're like not doing anything right now and you're like, you know what, I'm not even gonna go on my phone, please like just binge my videos. Put that shit on mute if you need to, babe. I am so close, this close to being monetized. I am at like 1.4k watch hours and I need 3k watch hours. So actually not that close, but it would help me out a lot and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, bye.